All right, so hi guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com. Welcome to another video on SEO. And first of all, if you're brand new to this channel, make sure to press the subscribe button down below so whenever I release a new SEO video like this, you get notified. And for today's video, this is also one of the SEO audit video, right, which I was requested from one of my subscribers to kind of make like audit his website, right? So this is his website. As you can see here, I open it up right now. The thing here is this subscriber, he doesn't really have any, like, sort of a problem with his website, with his rankings, right? Because he like, he kind of gets quite a good decent amount of traffic, but he just wanted me to kind of go through it a little bit, just to see if there's any room for improvement, something like that. Because like he mentioned that like his traffic kind of stacked right at about, I think, 1,000 visitors per month or something like that. I'm not really sure. So that's really the thing that he wanted me to kind of go through it a little bit, right? So in this video, I'll just go through it, and give him some of the suggestions, right? Actually, I went through a little bit today's morning, and I kind of found a little bit of, maybe room of improvements where he can make, right, to really kind of maybe double the traffic or maybe triple, right, than what he has today. So without further ado, let's jump right to the audit, right? So first, I've analyzed the website, right, using this SEM Rush tool, as you can see here. So this is the website. I plugged it in, and I filter out, for the database in United Kingdom, as you can see here. And you can see that the website is about, it was started in around 2018, right? As you can see here, 2018, I think, probably somewhere around that. And then, as you can see, it just kept on growing and growing, right? And right now, in March 2020, it's about 1,166, right, visitors per month from organic traffic. Well, keep in mind that SEM Rush is not, accurate, like, right? But like, none of the tools out there are accurate except, Google Search Console. So this is just a, like an like the stats, right? Like just to have an idea of, how much visitors the site actually gets, right? So this is the first thing. So the site is growing pretty strong, right, as you can see. So it's growing each and every month, and that's a good sign, right? So as you can see, there's really nothing, like nothing like no problem regarding the rankings or whatsoever. But then, besides the site that is doing pretty well, I can see that, like right out the bat, right, when I landed on the website, I can see that is an e-commerce website, right? So you can see there's a product here, and then also divided into two categories and subcategories, right? And then there are also a couple of blog articles here. So for this audit, I'm gonna, break it down to three part, right? That is first gonna be the on-page SEO, right? The on-page sections, and then I'm gonna move on to the technical point, right? The technical SEO, and then I'll finish it off with the off-page SEO. So first off, actually before jump right to on-page SEO, I would like to start with technical SEO first, right? Like for this specific website, and that's because the first thing which I was able to identify was that the page speed was quite slow, right? So if I go to the free tool here, right, there's a free tool you can use to measure the page speed, the GT metrics. And then, if I go ahead and plug the website URL here and analyze the page speed, right, the website speed. Okay, I'll just come back a little bit, right? So this is the first thing, and and that's the first thing from the technical point of view, right? Let me kind of check, the index, right? Like how many pages are actually indexed, and if there's any unnecessary pages that got indexed. So first you go to Google, and then you type in, the site, right, site colon, and then put in the URL, right, and then check. So you can see that there's like quite a lot of pages, right, like quite many pages that are being indexed. So as you can see here, if I go through, let's say, 7th or 8th page, you can see that, there are like tag, right, tag got indexed, right, tag and categories, right, different tags, different categories. And from the blog post as well as the products, right? So you can see different product categories, right? And also, the site is in two language. You can see it's English, UK, and France and French, right? So There's also, French language being indexed here, right? So actually it's not a big deal, but like usually you don't want your website, right, to have too many low quality pages indexed, right? Like for instance, tags, right, or categories. These type of pages, they're usually um like termed as low quality pages, right, according to Google. So if your website has too many low quality pages getting indexed, right, it kind of degrades your overall site's performance, right? So your overall site quality, and it may affect you in the long run to your ranking as well. But as you can see here, this site is growing like each and every month, so probably is maybe in a a little bit lucky, I'm not sure. But my suggestion here is to really kind of, if possible, right, to remove all the unnecessary, right, pages, tags, categories, right, categories of the index, right? So easily you, the thing he, like you can easily do this by like no index it, right? Like if you use, like for instance, Yoast SEO plugins, right? If you're using WordPress, then you can easily do that, right? There's an option there where you can no index it. But as of now, does this site really has to worry about it? I would say not, right? Because as you can see, the traffic is growing very well, but maybe by removing all these low quality pages, it might even double the traffic, right? So that's the thing, like kind of double the quality of the website, right? So that's the first thing that I would suggest the site owner to do it, right? So the second thing is the page speed. So let's go back and check the page speed, right? So as you can see, the page speed, it took about 6.1 second to fully load the home page, right? And there are like over 206 requests, right, to this. Let me kind of check the timing. The TTFB is pretty okay, right? Okay, so the next thing that maybe that kind of hinder the website from achieving, like let's say 2000 visitors per month, is could be the page speed, right? Because let's say like normally for me personally, I wouldn't wait like more than 5 seconds, right, for the page to really load. If I had to wait more than that, I would just simply click the back button and exit the page without even bother to read it, right? So maybe the visitors are already there, right? The audience are already there, but maybe maybe due to the page speed, maybe half of them decide to click the back button, right? So if you can improve it, that will be a plus to this as well, right? This could even improve your traffic per month as well. So second suggestion from my side is to improve the page speed, right? Preferably about 3 to 5 seconds enough, right? Don't really have to do it like hardcore, like let's say 2 or 1 seconds, which is quite difficult, right, if you're running like e-commerce website like this. So that's the thing here, is to kind of improve the page speed, right? Like for instance, like from GT metric, it suggests that there's like leverage browsing caching, right? Only 68 is there. So maybe if you install more plugins, right, it can help. And also problem with the images, right? As you can see, serve scale images. Maybe kind of resize the image a little bit, and make sure that images are of the same size, right? And that would help as well. And even this problem, like, as you can see, so there's a SiteGround optimizer. Okay, the site seems to use the caching plugin to this, so that's fine. Like maybe you can find a couple of more plugins, like for instance there like that I use a lot is called auto optimize, right? Auto optimize, not sure if the site uses or not. And then WP fastest cache, right? These are the two that I use. But maybe SiteGround is also not bad, right? The SiteGround optimizer plugin. So you can try different stuff, right? The images also played a big role here, so maybe you can look at the images size, right? That's the thing here. Or maybe change the hosting, but of course that's not necessary right now, right? So that's the thing. And going through the sites, like technical point of view, as I mentioned, pretty much just the index part is there, right, that the website needs to fix. The page speed is there, right? How about the site architecture, like how the site has categorized itself? So that's pretty interesting. Like the site is pretty kind of organized, right? As you can see, like if I hover to the product area, there's a shutters, then there's a door shutters and window shutters, and doors, also external doors and internal doors. So I guess the site architecture is pretty decent, right? Like from my point of view, like overview from here, and from the blog also divided into different category, right? As you can see here. So like when talking about e-commerce website, one of the biggest issues is not having a proper site architecture, right? So like you kind of need to have like proper physical architecture. Let's say on the top you have like a home page, right? And then you divide into categories, and then category 1, category 2, something like that. So let me kind of draw this out for you a little bit so you can have an idea, right? Actually, I do discuss about this in detail in in my e-commerce SEO video, right? Which I'll leave the link in the description so you can watch it. I kind of go through, what are some of the important things that you need to keep in mind, right, when it comes to doing SEO for your e-commerce store. So it kind of breaks down to something like this. So, on the top here, you have the home page, and then you subdivide into, main category, right? Let's say you have 4 main categories, right? And then for each categories, it may also divide into, subcategories, right? Let's say you have something like this, right? Subcategories. And then it may even be broken down further, or that's pretty much it. And then for each subcategory, of course, you will have um you will have your products, right? Your products here and there. And then pretty much you're getting the idea here. And then all these like they kind of interlink with each other, right? So this kind of forms like a silos here, you can pretty much assume like that. And then for each of the pages, right? Let's say this is a category, then you can try to rank for it as well, right? Like for instance, if you have a look at this website, like what I can see from this website here is the majority of traffic, right? In fact, I think maybe 100% of the traffic comes from the informative keyword, right? Like for instance, how to hang a door, or drill bit types, right? Or fence post drivers. So all these are informative keywords, which probably comes from the blog section, right? So if you hover to the tools, let's say the blog section, and then you'll see there are like tons and tons of informative content here, right, on the website. So this kind of thing, I think it drives the traffic to the website using this type of keywords. But if you kind of want to double your sales as well, then maybe like for instance, door shutters here, right? This is your categories, right, of the product. You can see on the top here, right, in the title tag is written door archives, right? So maybe if you can change the title, if you can add a small paragraphs here above, right, which says we sell a door in XYZ, something like that. So maybe you can kind of optimize your category page to maybe try to rank for some of the keywords, right? And that will help increase your traffic as well, right? Because initially you have traffic going to your blog content. Now you can also have traffic going to your category page, right? As well as different products. But like for instance, this type of products are pretty difficult to, of course, SEO optimize, right? Like you can't really write much about oak shutter door or something like that, which I completely understand that. But at least maybe the category page, you can look into it, right? And if you have a look at the content section, it's pretty solid, right? As you can see here, it has product descriptions, has description, additional info also is there. Just make sure that the content, they're not duplicate, right? They try to be as unique as possible when writing the content, because if you have too many duplicate content on the website, it kind of lowers down your website quality, right? Which can negatively impact your SEO rankings, right? So the website has done a pretty good job, right, in filling up all the details about the website, about the products, right, all this stuff. But maybe if you look into the product description, right, and maybe try to optimize it for a certain type of keywords, then you can try bring in some additional traffic, right, for it. So coming back to the site architecture here, so this is how you would want to structure a website, right? So all these, right, are grouped together because they are relevant to each other, right? For this group, and then this group are linked up together, right? Like these are relevant categories, as well as this one, as well as this one. So this is an ideal site structure for e-commerce website, right? So you would want to kind of divide a website into make the site structure looks as logical as possible, right? Which I think this website has done a pretty good job with it. As you can see here, is divided into pretty easy to navigate menu, right? As you can see here. So that's the good part, right? And then let me, and that's pretty much it. Like, technical side of view, site architecture, indexing, right? Indexing pages, right? And since this website is using WooCommerce, right, which I can clearly see that, then schemas, review schemas already there, right? So for instance, if I look at this one, if I kind of check the view source page, let me see if there's any schemas, like review schemas there. Hmm, maybe if I type in review, yeah, I think it's pretty is there, right? So if you're already using WooCommerce, then that's fine, right? Like, you don't really have to bother about review schemas and all those stuff. So it's pretty much handled out of the bat, right? Like out of the box for the plugin. So I wouldn't worry much about it, right? Now let's move on to the on page, right? The content side, and let's analyze how the content is. So if you look at, let's say, if I pull up one of the blog article, let's say, to kind of look at, how the site owner has written the content, right? As you can see, it takes pretty slow to load the page up. Let's say if I goes to this, and so you can see that there's image, right? There's a bunch of text, and divided into different sections. That looks great, right? And yeah, I mean, the content, I would say, looks pretty solid, looks pretty comprehensive, right? Just ideally, this is something that you would try, aim for your website. But maybe, if you can add like more internal links, right, if possible. I saw a couple of articles, they already have internal links, but if you can add as many as possible, that's also a good thing. And don't forget external links, right, like linking out to other authoritative websites, right? This will also help increase trust on your website as well. Like nowadays, SEO is not just about relevance, it's not just about authority, it's also about trust. Many of the people seems to lack trust, right? They build links, right, to increase the authority, to write good quality contents to increase relevancy, but then they tend to forget about trust, right? So you have to also take care about the trust. Like, trust can be anything, like, let's say if you talk about EAT, right? So that's what the next thing what I'm gonna kind of analyze is that, let's say if you go to about us section page, right? And don't forget, your website should have a very legit about us section. As you can see here, the site has pretty legit, pretty good about us sections. But then I would kind of want to restructure it a little bit, like, to kind of talk about who is this, right? Okay, you have these sections, but maybe you have a photo of yourself here, right? The photo of the owner, and kind of make it look like quite legit, right? As to who you are and what you do and all these, rather than write about all these, right? Like, for instance, environmental policies, you can also add it in separate pages for it, right? So maybe third suggestion which I have is to maybe look into restructuring the about us section, right? So to make it looks more legit, right? Because this deals with trust, right? Deals with EAT, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And this will help improve, like, kind of improve the trust on your website more, right? So that's pretty much it. Like, I can pretty much give you an example here. Actually, I saw this website, this one, right? This is also one of the digital marketing agencies website. And I found this website to be to have a very good about us page, which you can follow this time, like a similar pattern here. So you can see, right, like this website, they include, like, our founder, and then there's this the photo of the founder, and then information about the founder here, right? And then a little bit of credentials here. So as you can see, right, here's like a legit about us section is introduce yourself, right? And in the about us section, you would also link out to different pages, right? Different resources on the internet where you are featured online, right? Let's say you have written a guest post on, very big authoritative site, then you would want to mention it on your website as well, right? And link out to that website. This will help, build trust on your on your about you, right? Because at the end of the day, you are the image of your brand, right? And when Google looks at your website, it wants to know who's the owner of the website, what's the credential that the owner has, and all this stuff. So hope you're getting the point here, right? That's the thing. And yeah, I mean, as far as the content side is concerned, I would not really, like kind of worry much about it, right? Because most of the content are pretty solid, and you can see from, the traffic here, right? If the content wasn't solid enough, it wouldn't be, this much, right? The traffic. So definitely, the website owner is doing something right here, right? So that's the thing here. And that's pretty much it from the on-page point of view. Really nothing much to, give suggestions, right? It's doing pretty well, doing good, right? Now let's move on to the off-page signals, right? So I won't dive into too much details, but I'll just, check the backlinks. So if I go to, like Ahrefs free backlink checker tool, then I can enter in the website URL, and then I can check, the kind of backlinks that the website has, right? So as you can see, it has only 76 backlinks, and domain authority is just 11 here, if you can see at the top here, which is quite good, right? Because the website doesn't seem to have much of backlinks, right? It doesn't seem to have many backlinks, but it's ranking very well for different type of keywords, right? As you can see here. So it means that the website overall quality is still in a very good shape, right? But then, as I mentioned here, maybe it could be lucky that you're not, that Google didn't catch you, right? That, for instance, remove all the unnecessary pages, or improve the page speed, something like that. So maybe in the long run, right, these suggestions will help you. But as for now, I wouldn't say that you should worry much about them. So you can see that most of the backlinks seems to be coming, naturally, although some of them seems like the site owner has done guest posting on, right, on the different website, which is fine, right? I mean, as of now, if you really want to boost your traffic, then maybe build a couple of more backlinks to your website. That can also help, right, to kind of improve your keyword rankings more. Let's say these are your top ranking keywords, right? Maybe you want to rank for other type of keywords, then you might want to build links to that page, right? Something like that. So maybe that's the thing that you might want to look into, right? But as of now, I wouldn't worry much about the backlinks, right? Unless you really want to increase your traffic to certain type of pages, certain pages, something like that. So that's pretty much it, right? There's really nothing much to point out here. The site looks almost perfect, and from my point of view, it's just that the site owner wants some of the suggestion or how to really increase traffic, right, to his website, which is already in a good shape now, but he wants to, of course, get more, right? And that's pretty much it. If you have any question, feel free to comment down in the comment section down below, and try to answer them as soon as possible. And if you have any topics on your mind, about SEO, make sure you comment them down in the comment section down below as well. And I'll make a video on it, right? And that's all for it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.